Welcome to Forbes Talks Shop. I'm Spencer Dukoff, and today I'm joined by Zac Clark, entrepreneur, mental health advocate, and founder of Release Recovery, a mission-driven organization supporting people on their path to sobriety and purpose. We'll talk about the products and routines that ground him daily, the tools that power his work, and how he's turned his personal journey into a platform for hope. Thank you so much for joining me today, man. I really appreciate it.
Running is the gift that keeps giving.
I know. That's how we first connected is fitness and running and health. So I'm excited to talk about all that stuff today. But I want to zoom out a little bit and start off by asking you about your work, which is deeply personal. What inspired you to build Release Recovery? And what do you hope people take away from the mission behind it?
Yeah, I mean, so in short, Release Recovery was founded because I am in recovery from a substance use disorder. I bottomed out in August of 2011 with I like to say like a pipe in my mouth and a needle in my arm, you know, and I was given the gift of treatment shortly thereafter. I went away for 4.5 months, and those people, those therapists, those doctors, those professionals, those behavioral healthcare professionals saved my life. And so coming out of that experience, I felt like I had found purpose, and I didn't know what that was going to look like. And here we are 14 years later, and I have a very clear idea of what it looks like. So,
yeah. And I guess in terms of 14 years ago to now, how do you feel like you've grown in this role? Like you've obviously have your own path in terms of recovery, but you're also this leader in this organization.
Yeah.
And how do you think that has changed you?
yeah, I mean, I often say my existence is somewhat polarizing. You know, I was a guy that in 2020 went on a reality television show, which was totally crazy. And I don't think that was anything that I thought I would ever do. Yeah. My career in behavioral healthcare started well before that. And I think some people assume that because I had this media hit or this moment of being a public facing figure, that's why I had this success. And of course it was helpful, but you know, I hung a shingle in 2017 with 5 years experience working in this field. Today, so it was me and a couple other people and a coffee pot and a dream. Yeah. And today we have about 125 employees, which, you know, is not nothing. And we're running a real business, and I'm the CEO of that business, which comes with a lot of pressures.
One thing that we talk about a lot in this show are people's routines and rituals. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's incredibly important for entrepreneurs. It's important for people who are in recovery. I want to understand kind of going through your day, like maybe we start in the morning. What does your morning typically look like?
I think balance for an entrepreneur is a funny word.
Yeah.
So if I am in a routine, which means I am not traveling like a crazy person, and I'm here and I'm in New York City and I'm in my apartment. Yeah. I like to wake up, and I'm an old school guy. Like when I got sober, I feel like I went back to the basics. Mm-hmm. Someone asked me one time, like, are you drinking water? Are you eating food? Are you sleeping 8 hours a week? And you laugh. Yeah. But with all the garbage out there today in the world, those are things that I hold very close to my heart. So I will typically wake up, you know, 6 a.m., 6:30-ish, drink water immediately, throw some electrolytes in there, and then launch into like my morning routine, which on a good morning is some prayer, some meditation, and a nice bed make. Yeah, nice. Making the bed has become a big thing for me too. I feel like I used to be somebody who would leave that, come back at the end of the day, and I feel like it's in the back of my head now if I don't get that going. Yeah. And I'll try not to grab the phone. You know, I hope to have an hour in the morning with no phone, which is sometimes unrealistic if life is happening. I just, you know, and there's things that I need to check on. I check on them. I give myself some grace in that, but yeah. And then it's into the day. If I can get my workout in early, like that morning run is always precious because the dopamine starts firing, and I think that always just makes for a more productive existence. And then from that moment on, you know, 8:30 on in the morning, it's all bets are off. Yeah. Do you cook for yourself? What's like a breakfast for Zac Clark? Wow, you are really gonna out me here. I have lived in New York for 14 years. I have probably cooked myself less than 10 meals.
That's what you got to do.
So
you're grabbing and going. You got stuff ready to go.
There's, a Quaker Oats oatmeal. There's another brand, Michael Chernow, this Creatures of Habit. So there's some morning kind of sustenance that I can throw in the body and some, some whey protein to get rolling into the day. But yeah, I'm not doing a lot of cooking. Yeah, it's one of the things I want to look at in 2026 for my human optimization is just nutrition and how that's playing a role in my life at 41 years old.
Yeah, yeah. Are you a coffee guy?
Love coffee.
Yeah. Do you have a coffee maker that you?
So I live at 20th and 7th, so which is right here in Chelsea in Manhattan, and there's a place called the Coffee Project in my building basically, and I go down there and they know me, and every morning I'm either having my cold brew black or my quad shot espresso, and that is like launching me into my day. It's one of the little things that I look forward to, and when I'm in that coffee shop, I try to really be present. I try to sit and consume and not be distracted by all that there is to be distracted by.
Yeah. Okay, so you're locked in. I feel like you mentioned the workout. We're going to talk a little bit about running.
Yeah.
But can you, going back a little bit, when did you first start running consistently? Because that's like the main thing I know about you.
Yeah,
personally.
It's a great story. It's a great story. And my running journey is synonymous with my recovery journey, which is synonymous with my business journey.
Yeah.
All of it started with one step,
one
day, one investment, whatever it might be. And so running, it was 2011. I was in rehab at a place called Cairn Treatment Centers out in Wernersville, Pennsylvania. I'd been there for about 6 weeks. I was not thrilled with the way I looked. I put on a bunch of weight late into my drug use. And one of the side effects of the antipsychotic meds that I was taking prior to rehab was weight gain. So I woke up one morning and realized like, oh wow, like I've been an athlete my whole life, and this is not normal. Like this is not comfortable to me, me, the way that I define myself. And so there was a hill actually out front of the treatment center, and one day I said, I'm going to walk up the hill. And I did that, and then the next morning I set my alarm and I went out and I did it, I think 5 times.
Yeah.
And you know how the story goes. I started to go further and further into this kind of journey while I was in rehab to one day where I was walking up and down the hill and I said, maybe I could run. Mm-hmm. And I have not looked back. So 17 marathons later, it's just been one of the most valuable tools in my toolkit.
Yeah, for sure. And in terms of gear, like that's one of the things that I feel like once you become a runner, you start to nerd out on what you're putting on your feet, the gear, the apparel, the fuel. Can you break down kind of like your go-tos?
Yeah, I mean, the running boom has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you've seen it firsthand since COVID. I feel like there was a lot of us that were running before COVID that were somewhat prideful about like, this is our thing, but I've welcomed the community coming in full force. It's just been so beautiful. I mean, I've been a Reebok guy for many years, so I love working out and running in their gear. I'm also fascinated by some of these brands that have really popped recently. We were talking about Bandit Running Company. I mean, they're unbelievable, and their tagline, "Keep Going," is also my tagline. So I'm a sucker for their stuff, and it looks cool, and I do subscribe to kind of like look good, play good. And then with the fuel, I mean, I'm starting to get into that more. I'm a Martin gel guy, you know. If you are a long distance runner, you understand the importance of fueling. And then, I have it all, the Glide for the chafing, and it's just the best. I have calf and shin problems. So the CEP, like the compression socks, I'm big on. I mean, you walk into my apartment and it looks like a runner's apartment. Mm-hmm. It's just the gear and the Theraguns and everything everywhere I'd be scared to lose it, honestly.
Yeah. So okay, you got your workout in, you went down, you had your coffee, you're zoned in, you're dialed in. A work day, are there any kinds of tools or things that you're using to kind of like stay on track, stay focused?
I always laugh when people say they work 16-hour days, because if you really understand what a 16-hour day is, that's 7 to 11. And it does happen. But I would say on average, here, when I'm in New York City, I am working a 12 to 13-hour day, which is intense, and there are definitely moments of sluggishness. And so I have things that I do throughout the day. I'm very good about getting out of the office and walking. If I need something, I go and get it myself. I was joking with a friend over the weekend, and they could not believe this. I've never ordered. I don't have an Amazon account.
Yeah.
And they looked at, so if I need something, I am walking to the store in real life and grabbing it. And so during the workday, I will be good about that. Yeah, there's a ton of coffee. There's a ton of hydration. There's a ton of snacks kind of lying around.
Yeah.
And the truth is, I love my work, so I don't think too much about like how do I, get focused here, because I'm typically pretty focused.
Yeah, you're driven by the mission and by the community. Yeah, isn't it messed up that it's somewhat aspirational to not have an Amazon account? I feel like there's people watching this video right now who are like, how do I get to that place? You know?
I've never had Facebook. The interesting things about me, which I think most folks would find interesting, is I don't eat fruit. I've never had a bite of fruit in my life.
Okay.
I don't have an Amazon.
All right.
Nor will I ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not yet succumbed to the Chat GPT. So those are my 3 things that I'm holding on to right now.
I was going to say goals, but you should eat some fruit, man. You're never going to eat fruit?
No, I'm 41 years into the bit. It's
too good of a bit. Yeah. Are you a veggies guy? Do you eat veggies?
I'll eat some veggies. I'll eat some broccoli, some spinach. The fruit thing goes, I don't know if we have time for the whole story, but it's got to be something in the childhood like that wounded me somewhere.
Some sort of deep trauma about apples or
oranges,
nectarines, oranges.
Yeah, the juice running down like the kids' elbows and the little hairs on I don't know.
That's the bonus episode for us, is discussing your orange trauma.
Yeah.
You work in a space that I feel like it's underrated how much creativity needs to go into the work that you're doing.
I appreciate that.
You're building new things. You're finding new ways to bring attention to the mission. It's something that, the story is great, but there are plenty of people in recovery. So why should they join this community? And I'm curious where you go for inspiration or creativity when you need to switch things up.
Yeah. So behavioral healthcare is an interesting line of work. There are a lot of brands, right? So if you go to a behavioral healthcare conference, there are a lot of little brands, Release included, right? Yeah. And we really need to work hard to establish our place in the community and stick out to our competition. And one of the ways that we've done that is by trying to make recovery look attractive. Yeah. And what I mean by that is, this is not a punishment. Getting sober, working on your mental health, it definitely is not a punishment. There's actually a lot of joy and purpose that you can find in this world. So, for me, we're running somewhere between 80 and 90 beds right now throughout New York City, Westchester County, and then we just acquired a program out in Austin, Texas, and 2 clinical spaces with censuses of 50 to 60 patients. And so there's a lot of lives under our care. Yeah. And there's a fine line that we walk in terms of being sophisticated, right? Being really good at what we do, being ethical, following the standards of care, and having some fun.
Yeah.
Showing our patients and our clients that, again, this is not a punishment, and helping to try to inspire them. And part of really, Spencer, what I have found is when I am lacking inspiration in the work, that means it's time for me to lean back into the reason why I'm doing this. And so I will typically, which I am doing right now, commit to running group once a week. Mm. And so every Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. as of late, I am with our community, and I am running group, and I am listening to them, and I am hearing the customer, because that's what they are. We are running a business, and what they need and what their needs are. And it's continually worked in terms of re-inspiring myself. And then, outside of that, I mean, there are some, like Rich Roll, for example, like his podcast and some of the work he does is always been a means or a source of great inspiration to me. And then, sometimes it means stepping away from the work.
Yeah.
And taking a time out.
Yeah.
To get re-inspired.
Yeah. And in terms of, showing up in these spaces, feeling your best, like a big part of that is, what you wear. And I feel like to a certain extent, it may be like, I don't have time to think about that, so I'm going to just pick something out. But like, are there any pieces or brands that you're like, you're obviously not shopping on Amazon, but you're saying, okay, this is kind of what I want to show up and kind of like have this, this presence?
I will say, when I first landed in New York City, I was very much into the sneaker game, the streetwear game, the buy the really expensive t-shirt or sweatshirt game. I'm wearing a Loewe sweater, which is, on the higher end of the price point, so I'm laughing at myself here.
Yeah.
But in terms of, I as an entrepreneur, as someone who's on the go, I like to keep things simple. There's a Canadian brand actually called Doer, Duer, that makes all the pants I wear. I love them, and I love just because they are built for someone like me who's on the go. They're super comfortable and they look good. I'm wearing them. Right now, if you see me in public, I'm probably going to be wearing something with my logo on it, release, because part of that is it's a conversation starter. People will ask me, what is release? And I will then have an opportunity to share a part of my story, getting sober at 27 years old, and the organization, both for-profit and nonprofit organizations I've been able to build as a result of just that one moment of clarity, and then continuing to bet on myself. And then, like in terms of, I don't know, man, like I'm a sucker for all the brands. I mean, like we were talking about the running stuff earlier, and I think everyone is really pushing the envelope right now. Rhone is an unbelievable, they were just in the men's space, but expanded. And I know their CEO, Nate Checketts, who you should actually have on the show, who's a good friend, and what they're doing is really cool. And they're a brand with purpose, which I really appreciate. They're really focused on the mental health side of this thing, which is awesome. And I think there's the last thing I'll say, as an entrepreneur, as someone who's out there like working hard to earn every possible dollar we can, like I want to support the people who are on that same journey as me.
Yeah, totally. Love Rhone. They're doing great stuff for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned traveling a lot. I feel like you're always bouncing around.
Yeah.
What are some of your travel essentials when you're kind of like to ground yourself, or, what are you throwing in your bag to make sure that you're feeling like ready to go wherever you're at?
Yeah, I mean, these are some good. I mean, like for me, I feel like travel is oftentimes work. So gotta have the laptop. I mean, all the Apple products, out the wazoo, the headphones, the, and then, I'm writing right now, and so the Moleskine kind of like nice notebook, and I'm toying with the idea of getting started on a book project, which is, exciting and scary all at the same time. But I'm a simple guy. I mean, like when it comes to travel, I think I've done a good job of kind of like separating my life into, okay, is this work and is this not? And if it is, like I will take that plane ride as an opportunity to get another couple hours of work. Done. So it's really, I'm bringing my, my work gear.
Yeah. Sweet. So we've gone through the day.
Yeah.
When you need to unwind, can you kind of like tell me about your wind down routine? Because I feel like people talk a lot about what happens in the morning, but I feel like the way that you kind of wind down is equally, if not more important. So what's your wind down routine look like?
My favorite way to wind down is contrast therapy. So here in the city, there's a place by the name of Bath House. They have a location in Williamsburg, and then one right here in Flatiron, which is closer to where I live, which is they've built out a space with large saunas and cold plunges. And I think some of the science is still out on the actual benefits of these things. But for me, I know I do things because I like the way they make me feel.
Yeah.
And I like the way they make me sleep. And so if I have an opportunity to break free and get there in the evening, that is automatically going to launch me into kind of my wind down. But my day ends with writing. So there's something that we like to do in my program of recovery, which is to review your day and review where you did well and maybe where there's some room for improvement. And I love to do that. And then again, on a good night, there's some meditation, there's some prayer, and on a bad night, like I'm playing this game right now, Blocky Blast. I mean, it's like it's the bane of my existence, and I So there's bad nights, right? Where the phone is in my face until the second I decide that I'm going to go to sleep. But on a good night, yeah, it's the phone goes down at 9. Yeah. You know, you're asleep by 10. You're praying, you're meditating, you're doing the contrast therapy, you're properly hydrated, and you're hopefully getting 8 hours of sleep. Yeah.
So I have one more question before we move to our last segment.
Yeah.
You mentioned this earlier, you know, being on a popular dating show. I'm curious for anybody who's watching, if you have any tips for someone who's looking to find love. Yeah. It doesn't have to relate to the dating show even, but just as somebody who, you know, many people know through that prism.
Yeah. The greatest thing I learned from that experience is that authenticity is undefeated. Yeah. Authenticity is undefeated. And what I mean by that is when I went onto that show, my best friends in life are still the 14 or 15 guys I went to high school with. Yeah. I knew that if that show played back and it wasn't me and I was acting or doing something that wasn't in line with the person that they know, they were going to let me have it. And one of my proudest moments was hearing from them as the show was airing and them saying like, dude, that's you. Like, this is you that we are watching. And we're really proud of that. And so if you are starting to date, looking to date, recently out of a relationship, show up as authentic as you can, because it removes a lot of the BS. Yeah. If I'm being honest with the person that I'm on a date with and I tell them I'm in sobriety, or I tell them that I'm a runner, or I tell them something that's going to turn them off, I would rather them know that information on the front end so that we can go our separate ways. And on the other side of that, I'm looking for commonality, right? Like I'm looking for someone that lives a certain way, and that way that will work for me. And so dating in New York City, I've done it over the years. You know, it can be exhausting, but it can also be really rewarding. And I've met people who there's no romantic interests left, but we've become friends, or we've helped people in business. And it's just an amazing way to get connected. Going into those dates without, you know, the end game in mind of like marriage and kids is also helpful. I think we walk into these first dates thinking like, I hope this is the one. Can we challenge ourselves to just be where we are and connect? Yeah.
So we wrap these episodes by doing a quick lightning round of this or that questions. Okay. So you can give as much background or context as you want. It could be a one-word answer. It can be a little context, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to hit you with those. Okay. That's cool. This or that, early morning meeting or late night reflection?
Early morning meeting.
Cold plunge or sauna?
Sauna.
All right. Green juice or black coffee?
Black coffee.
All right. Analog journal or notes app?
Analog.
Beach reset or mountain hike?
Beach reset.
Okay, these are going to get more difficult. Podcast or playlist?
Playlist.
Conversational jog or tempo run?
Conversational jog for the connection.
Nice. That's a good diplomatic, entrepreneurial answer.
Yeah.
Cool. London Marathon or New York City Marathon?
New York City.
Yeah, okay. I teed that one up for you. Weighted blanket or meditation app?
I haven't, the weighted blanket, meditation app. I just because I haven't done the weighted blanket yet.
I mean, as I was asking that question, I was like, you could do meditation with a weighted blanket. Right. It doesn't have to be binary, you know? Structured routine or go with the flow?
Go with the flow.
Fancy restaurant date or activity date?
Activity date.
And then lastly, birds or fills?
Oh. Right now I'm going Phillies because I would like to see that championship next. Okay. We just got an Eagles Super Bowl, so.
Okay. I like that. I like how pained you were to have to give that answer.
God. I mean, it's, you know.
YouTube is forever, man, so it's going to be up there.
Yeah.
Well, Zach, thank you so much for joining me today and chatting. It was great to catch up.
Thanks, Spencer. It was awesome. Cool. Thank you.
We've linked Zach's favorite wellness products, recommended resources, and release recovery information below. And don't forget to subscribe for more Forbes Talks Shop episodes with the founders and changemakers shaping how we live, recover, and thrive.